Canadian 18-year-old Felix Auger Aliassime cruised past Great Britain's Cameron Norrie 6-3, 6-2 in 63 minutes. This year's Rio Open finalist Felix Auger Aliassime saved both his break points he faced and converted all his 3 break point chances. He earned the first break in the second game of the opening set and consolidated the break to open up a 3-0 lead. He saved a break point in a seventh game to hold his serve for 5-2 and served out at love 6-3 with an ace. Auger Aliassime, who is the youngest player in the main draw, broke serve at love in the third game and held his serve at 15 to open up a 3-1 lead. The young Canadian held his serve at love in the sixth game after saving a break point to open up a 4-2 lead. He went up a double break in the seventh game for 5-2 after a double fault from Norrie and served out at love 6-2 in the eighth game. Auger Aliassime reached the second round where he will face his fellow next-gen player Stefanos Tsitsipas for the first time in his career at ATP Tour level. The winner of this match would face this year's Doha champion Roberto Bautista Agut. Just 1 year ago, Auger Aliassime won his first match at Masters 1000 level when he beat his compatriot in Indian Wells. The mother of the three-time Grand Slam champion has given an update on the current health of the former world number 1. Andy Murray at the 2019 Australian Open. Photo Roberto Dell'Olivo. Andy Murray is in a good place mentally, following his latest hip operation, according to his mother Judy. The former British Fed Cup captain gave an update on her son's condition during an interview with Sky Sports. Murray hasn't played since his loss to Roberto Bautista Agut in the first round of the Australian Open. It was during that tournament, where the Brit revealed that he may be forced to retire from the sport due to ongoing hip problems. "I spoke to my team and I told them I can't keep doing this and that I need to have an endpoint, because I was just playing with no idea when the pain was going to stop," Murray said during an emotional interview in Melbourne earlier this year. "I can still play to a level, not a level that I'm happy playing it. But it's not just that. The pain is too much, really. It's not something I want. I don't want to continue playing that way. I've tried pretty much everything that I could to get it right, and that hasn't worked," he added. Shortly after the tournament, Murray underwent another procedure on his hip in a last-ditch attempt to allow him to continue his career. In London, he had hip resurfacing surgery to improve his quality of life, a procedure that involves having a mental pole inserted into the joint. "He is doing pretty well. It is not that long since he had the operation and time will tell," Judy told Sky Sports News. "Nobody knows how he is going to recover in the longer term. He is in a good place mentally and we just keep our fingers crossed. But I tell you, if anybody can do it, he can, because he will put his heart and soul into it like he does with everything. So fingers crossed." Murray is hoping to follow in the footsteps of doubles specialist Bob Bryan. Bryan underwent the same operation last summer and has since returned to the tour, recently winning the Delray Beach Open title with brother Mike. The Brit has been yet to speak publicly about his recovery. His only social interaction has been via Instagram. However, The Guardian newspaper has reported that Murray will speak about how his recovery is progressing on Wednesday. During his career, Murray has claimed 45 ATP titles and became the first player in history to defend an Olympic title. He has also spent 41 consecutive weeks as world number 1. Could this be the last year the former world number 1 plays in the Californian desert? Roger Federer. Photo by Chrysaline Kyle. Copyrighted Sport Vision. The director of the BNP Paribas Open believes Roger Federer's presence at the tournament this year shouldn't be taken for granted. Tommy Haas, who was ranked as high as number 2 in the world during his professional career, has admitted that there is a chance this year could be the last time Federer plays in the tournament. The 20-time Grand Slam champion will make his 18th main draw appearance in Indian Wells. He is a five-time champion and was runner-up to Juan Martín del Potro last year. Federer is the only player in history to feature in the final of the tournament on 8 occasions. We hope that he's going to be back for many, many years. Haas said during an interview with the Desert Sun, but I keep reminding everybody that this might be, who knows, his last year. I don't want to be the guy that spoils it, but we've got to cherish these moments. 37-year-old Federer recently claimed his 100th title at the Dubai Tennis Championships. Despite being the second oldest player in the top 100, he has shown no indication about when he will retire. His agent, Tony Godsick, said in a recent interview that even he was in the dark about Federer's future plans. One thing for sure is that it is unlikely the former world number one will quit at the end of 2019. Speaking to reporters in Dubai, he confirmed his intention to play in the 2020 edition of the tournament. Although he was more cautious when asked about the possibility of playing in the Olympic Games. The idea was for the people to know that I am coming back next year. That is the plan. I have a deal for next year. He commented about playing in the 2020 Dubai Tennis Championships. I thought about it this week because I know they said they were interested to have me again next year, if it was okay to announce it during the week. I said, absolutely, we can do that. In Indian Wells this year, Federer will be fighting to maintain his place in the world's top 5. He will be defending 600 points in the tournament. Should he suffer an early loss, both Kevin Anderson and Kei Nishikori has a chance to overtake him. In order to maintain his top 5 spot, Federer needs to reach at least the quarterfinals. He's always trying to seek and play his best. Haas said of Federer. Runner-up last year, defending champion the year before, so he always plays some really good tennis here. The draw for the men's tournament at Indian Wells will take place on Tuesday. Defending champion Del Potro will be absent due to a knee injury. Is jealousy the reason for Nadal's recent swipe at Kyrgios? Nick Kyrgios, photo by Chrysaline Caio, copyright at Sport Vision. Former top 100 player Sam Groth has weighed in on the recent spat between Rafael Nadal and Nick Kyrgios by saying that the former world number one hasn't liked the Australian since their first meeting on the tour. Last week at the Mexican Open, Kyrgios saved a trio of match points to defeat the Spaniard in the second round. Shortly after the match, controversy started when Nadal took a swipe at Kyrgios, calling him out for his behavior on the tour. He's a player who has enormous talent, could be winning Grand Slams or fighting for the no. 1 ranking, Nadal told reporters in Acapulco. He lacks respect for the crowd, his opponent and towards himself. I don't think he's a bad guy, but he lacks a little respect for the public and the rival. Kyrgios is known for his controversial behavior on the tour after being previously accused of tanking during matches. He was briefly suspended from the tour for unsportsmanlike conduct displayed during the 2016 Shanghai Masters. Last year he was fined $17,500 by the ATP for making a sexual gesture during his semi-final match at the Fever Tree Championships in London. Responding to Nadal's comment, Kyrgios hit back by saying he would pay no attention to it. He then called out his opponent for the amount of time he takes between points. Under ATP rules, players are allowed a maximum of 25 seconds between points. From this year, a shot clock has been implemented on the tour for players to monitor their time. I'm different, Rafa is different. He can focus on what he needs to do, Kyrgios responded. He doesn't know the journey I've been through, he doesn't know me. So I'm not going to listen at all, that's the way I play. That's the way he plays, he's very slow between points and the rule of the book says you have to play at the speed of the server. But Rafa has the speed every time. I'm not going to comment on him and his game. I've got my game. I'm not going to take that Nadal's comment into consideration at all. Speaking after the exchange of words, Groth believes Nadal's criticism is fueled by jealousy to some degree. World number 2 is tied at 3-3 in their head-to-head and has lost in 2 in their 3 most recent meetings. I don't think Rafa really likes Nick very much. Fox News quoted Graf as telling RSN Radio on Monday. Nick burst onto the scene beating Rafa at Wimbledon, so I think there's probably been something there from day one. To be honest, they're 3-3 head-to-head now, and I don't think there are too many guys in the world Nadal would have a 50-50 record against. He probably just doesn't like it very much. Kyrgios won the Mexican Open last week after defeating Alexander Zverev in the final. He has now risen 39 places up the ATP rankings to 33rd in the world, his highest position since October. The head-to-head record